Our people are going to be plowed as a field. And I know you see a field get plowed, they don't leave shit, man.
Right.
They chop everything down.
And Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountain of the house as the high places of the forest. Yes, and that's all.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time.
That's the time that we're approaching right now. Because right now, this is the time to repent and to come back to your nation. This is the grace period right now. Because it's about to be a time that never was before. Jacob's trouble. Go ahead.
No, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved.
That's right, the Most High has to shorten the days. That's why it feels like time is going by so quick. We're in the month of July already. And it feels like July just started, but we almost halfway through it. This thing is speeding up. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It's gaining more and more momentum. That's why all the prophecies is coming out. That's why Jake is being roused up as a young lion. That's why them cops got killed. Because it's all setting up this race war, which is going to set up martial law. Which is, go ahead.
And except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
That's right. Because if the Most High didn't shorten the days, you know what I'm saying, they would do away with even the elect. But for the elect's sake, these days are being shortened. We're about to get out of here soon.
Right. Nobody learns the game that way.
That's what it's all about.
It.
That's the end game is salvation. We're trying to get on the chariot. We ain't trying to be here for 10 more years. 10, 20 years. What the fuck is that? Who wants to be here for that? To go through all these infirmities that we gotta go through? To sit back and watch all this abomination going on in front of us? All that is vexation of spirit.
This is the book of Psalms 34 and verse 12. What man is he that desireth life and loveth many days that he may see good?
That's right. If it's not the kingdom, which that's not talking about the kingdom, so who wants to be here? Who wants to live 50 years in hell?
50 more years in hell.
Right.
Yeah, God. What it says, pray for a few days unto you, man. Our kingdom is coming. Why would you want to prolong that more than it has to be prolonged, man? The Most High, I ain't gonna
trodden down people.
Yeah.
Why would you want to continue that to go on?
You want to do Black Lives Matter for the next 50 years?
Right.
You know? Like, people don't think, man.
You had the so-called civil rights movement. Now you got Black Lives Matter, and niggas was getting killed all the way up to the civil rights movement, through the civil rights movement, till Black Lives Matter, and on through Black Lives Matter. But you niggas is still getting killed and want to stay here.
Says, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, there is Christ, or there, believe it not.
That's right, man, because what they like to do, they like to set shit up. You know, like Project Bluebeam, or, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people are going to be deceived when the Most High allow his son to come back anyways because of that image. That image is going to be a stumbling block for the majority of people because they've been taught all their life, they've been programmed that, you know what I'm saying, he's white. But when he come back and he's black, You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be a culture shock.
It says, for there shall rise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Right, but you ain't gonna be able to see the elect, man, because we got the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshai behind us. We got the knowledge of the scriptures. We do the research.
We do the research. God.
We do the research.
And just to add on to that, why would it specify in so much that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect? Because the majority of this world is going to be deceived, man. You have to be special, part of the elect, to not be deceived by the things that the so-called white man pushes. Project Blue Beam. All right, that's easy to fall for. It's believable. Coachella, you know. So,
and hold on, not even that, because you got these so-called Israelites that only believe in the Old Testament. You know what I'm saying? So when Yahweh Shai come back, you can be like, what the fuck? Because how you hold on? I don't understand how they only believe in the Old Testament anyways. When it says, I believe it's in Micah, that he was supposed to be born in Bethlehem. So if he's supposed to be born in Bethlehem, he gonna be born over there with them Jew rats?
Yeah. Okay.
And even then, you would still have what? Another 10, 20, 25 years for him to come back and save the nation? Why would he be born way over there when Israel's here in America? And he saved America from over there. They don't even fucking line up. Divine prospect.
You gotta do your research.
Do your research.
Reading on, it says, before I have told you before, it's like it, behold, I have told you before, wherefore, if they say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
That's right, man. He gonna crack them clouds on them chariots, man. That's how he's coming back to save his people. That's how he's coming to take this place down. With that concentrated fire, that concentrated heat. The laser, so to speak.
Yeah. If I may add to that. I forget exactly where it's at, but it says in the scriptures that they looked up to heaven and they seen a chariot and they couldn't find the end of it, man. So for you to not be able to see the end of a chariot, the Most High is gonna be dynamic when he comes back, man.
I got you.
You know that? That's why I said every eye shall see. Because if you can look up into the sky, you can't see the sky, you can see a chariot. I'm pretty sure you're not the only one that's seen it. So,
yeah. Yeah, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 13. I'll start at 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him.
Yeah, all things trembled that were seen under him, man. Who is that? That's the Lord. When the Most High, when Yahweh Shai comes back to this earth, everybody's going to see it and everybody's going to be afraid, man. Especially like what the brother was saying, when you see the Lord, you ain't going to know what to do, man. You're going to be shaking in your boots because you thought that he was a so-called white man. You're not expecting a man of color to come out of a chariot.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead.
And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And that's what I was talking about, that concentrated heat. And they show it constantly in these movies to indoctrinate it into your head that aliens are coming back and they gonna shoot that fire. They get it straight out the scriptures.
That's right.
But it's the angels and Yahweh Shai coming back getting his vengeance.
Yeah, that's right.
Verse 5.
And if you ain't into these scriptures, then you ain't gonna be prepared, man.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you're not into the scriptures, if you in this world eating, drinking, and making merry, having fun. All right, you're gonna be confused. You're gonna be scared, and you're ultimately gonna get killed because you don't know what's going on, man. You're not gonna know what to do. All you know is what the so-called white man told you to do when you see a chariot or a so-called UFO, which is fight against it. You can't fight against the Lord.
Right, like
you can't fight against the Lord, but you're gonna lose for sure.
I was watching Independence Day 2 with my little sister, and she asked about the aliens or whatnot, and I told her, I said, look, this is a movie, but it is going to be real spaceships that come, and when they come, don't be scared of them because they're angels. And she said, okay, and she understood it. And that's a goddamn shame that a child can understand that shit, but a nigga walking up and down the street can't see it. And they can read in the scriptures and see and interpret it. Verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of the number from the four winds of the heavens to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not.
Yeah, so the chariot was so big, he couldn't make out where it ended, man. Where it started, where it ended. All right, that gotta be that's a big object.
And that's just like on the new Independence Day. They said that the chariot was over the Atlantic Ocean. And the president, which was a female, which leads me to believe that Hillary's gonna win, but she said, well, over what part of the Atlantic Ocean? The whole Atlantic Ocean.
That's a big ocean.
Yeah.
That's a big ass ocean.
From North America to Europe. That's 3,000 miles.
And the so-called white man teaches you to fight against this because it's an invasion. Even if I, the water Yahweh for this truth, but even if I wasn't in the truth and I seen I'm not fighting against that. I'm not gonna fight against that. And through the Spirit, we got in this truth through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and we know not to fight against that. We know that to fight against you goddamn devils that push it.
God. We know that that's our ticket out of here.
We know you are enemies. The chariots ain't our enemies, man. You stressing us out. You putting us in this oppression. The chariots ain't putting us in oppression. You pulling us down when the chariots is gonna lift us up, man. And that lifting up is gonna be the elect getting beamed.
And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet durst fight.
Yeah, durst fight. These goddamn crackers are gonna fight against the chariots of the Lord, man. I believe it said that in Revelations too. They're gonna fight, man. All right.
Against Michael and his angels.
They're gonna look. You're gonna lose. All right. At the end of the day, when these chariots come, if you decide you want to fight, you're gonna lose. You're gonna be scared. That's pride, man. That's pure pride. For you to be scared in your mind, you scared of the chariots. You scared of what's in the chariots, and you just fighting against it. You scared that the Lord came out. He can come out the chariot. They're gonna be scared. They're gonna still fight against him, man. Anytime you fight against the Lord, you're gonna lose. That's guaranteed. Go ahead.
And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war, but only saw that he sent out of his mouth as he had been a blast of fire.
Yeah, he gonna fight.